You are listening to the Hello Sport Podcast.
What is up, punters and dribblers? Welcome back to another episode of the Hello Sport Podcast. I'm Unqualified Opinion and Unwavering Bias. Welcome to a Thursday. If you're just tuning in, Thursday morning, we've won the Ashes. We got it all done Wednesday night.
Got it done in a night, baby.
Yeah, which was nice. Weather was bad. We decided to get our fucking skates on, and we've won the Ashes. No, just kidding. We like to kid here at Hello Sport. Seriously though, it's an interview pod. Eddie and I are on holidays as of today, so
sunning our sacks.
Suck on a fat one. We're going to sun our sacks, but
not for too long.
No, we're back
like
next
streety
week
with a mole on my dick. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think you meant about holidays. Well, you definitely don't want to be streety with a mole on your dick, and you also don't want to go away for too long.
Why?
Well, because the punter and the dribbler will start to get antsy.
No, we don't want that.
You don't want to get antsy.
We live to serve the punter and the dribbler.
We are humble servants of the punter and the dribbler.
And we will we sacrifice ourselves at the altar of dribble and of yarn.
Dude, some people are like, fighters sacrifice their bodies. We sacrifice much more than that.
I know. I mean, fucking hell.
We sacrifice our bodies as well.
Yeah, and our minds and our hearts and our souls.
Spirits.
I mean, there's a lot that goes into satifying the needs of the punter and the dribbler.
Yep.
They've got an insatiable appetite. Yeah,
they do. They're hungry. They're hungry for it. We're joined by Busby Marou, musical act Busby Marou, on the podcast today. Tom and Jeremy. They are two mates from fucking Rocky in Queensland who've had great success as a duo. And it was good to have a yarn. They came on. Dribblers. They love their fucking rugby league. They love their origin. We waited till after Queensland and New South Wales did their thing because if it was mid-origin, we couldn't have talked to them.
Can I ask you a question? It's been on my mind ever since you said that from Rocky. Is Rocky Road from Rocky?
Is there a road in Rocky?
No, like Rocky Road, the snack.
Do you know what's in Rocky Road?
Marshmallow.
Yep.
Chocolate.
Yep.
Don't know what else.
No, I don't need that. Might be it. Maybe like a nut of some sort.
Maybe a nut. Not a peanut. Maybe like an almond, maybe? I don't know.
Did you say almond or just almond?
Almond.
I think it's almond.
Almond?
I don't know though.
It's tricky. Is it almond or almond?
Yeah. I can't say almond. It's too much.
It is too much.
Just say almond.
Almond?
Yeah.
Armand?
Not Armand, because you're not a Spanish dude, but just almond, I reckon.
Okay.
But are there any? Dave? I'm sure you're not doing your job. Is there any? No. What's in Rocky Road? Of what? Well, that's the name of it. So why would you be looking that up? It's like we had the name. No, that's okay. You just yell. No, I picked that up. It looks like a punter's dribbler. Sorry, Dave off mic here. It looks like a road that is rocky. I gathered that. Same way, like a killer python's called a killer python because looks like a snake. Do you know that one? David? Okay, good. I wasn't sure. I was checking.
So Australian Rocky Road is obviously
Chocolate?
nuts, particularly peanuts, marshmallows, coconut sometimes.
Okay.
So when I narbred...
Cherries? Okay.
Right, so I narbred peanuts immediately.
Yeah.
I was incorrect.
You're incorrect. You said
That's okay.
you said almonds. You said almonds, and that fucked everything up for you. It says a lot. So Busby Marou,
Yep.
great guys. Their new album is out this Friday.
21st July?
What is the date today? 19th?
So I'm spot on.
Okay.
So I'm a fucking
all right.
genius.
21st of July. Blood Red is the name of the album. And then they have their national tour starting in August. Where is the date there? I've forgotten it. It's in August, though.
Go to busbymarou.com.
Yep, for tickets.
Maybe a .au.
Yeah, look, there might be a .au, but mate, if someone's got the fucking .com of Busby Marou, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, you'd have to be a real wily piece of shit, considering it's their last names.
Yeah, it'd have to be super wily.
You'd have to be wily.
Anyway, great yarn with the boys.
It was a great yarn with the boys. Very funny. They had some funny yarns.
Couple of ripper tales.
There's a very funny yarn in here about when they got signed, their first record deal, and some hash cookies. That's all I'll say. But good yarn with the fellas. They're great. Really appreciated having them on. Enjoy. But thanks for coming in anyway. So the album's out Friday. Hey, what are these like? Album promotional tours like? Are they fun?
Yeah. Well, you used to do them while we were touring. So we would be playing late at night, going out till all hours, then getting up at 6 and doing TV and singing, and you turn up. Honestly, we got some stories about being drunk
Hung
on
with
TV
like Costic
or
for
radio.
over because I'm shit and you're about
But
to
now
throw up in his lap.
there's no gigs. They put us up at the Star. Thank you, Claire.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, very swish.
And
Give us a driver.
With the waters.
well, very well mannered and behaved. And we were in bed by 8 o'clock watching
Really?
Netflix, Uber Eats.
How has that changed over the course of the careers? Did you guys used to be a little bit looser and wilder? Like it's a fun, and it's the nightlife sort of a
10
of a-
years
of a
ago,
job.
if they had given us a driver and put us up at the casino,
2 years
I
ago.
wouldn't have slept the whole time.
We got some crazy, just idiots. But we're just so excited. Everything was so exciting back then. Every call you got was just like, hey, there's 20 people coming to your gig in Melbourne and you've never been there. You're like, that's friggin' unbelievable. And
Yeah.
then so you celebrate every night and you
Absolutely.
don't need to sleep because now we got heaps of kids between us. And
That's always it's
Change
not,
things
well,
a
it's
little
not
bit.
worth it, is it? I don't have heaps. I got 2, but I get it. Like it's just not.
yeah.
It's
not
not
worth
worth
it.
going home tired because you're
no.
just a grumpy old man,
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
it's
Or you
still
wake
there.
up and you're just like,
Yeah.
you have to be in and on, and you're like,
The other thing is, and you probably have you got kids?
Nah, not yet.
Not yet.
Nah.
he likes to remind us he's got a dog though. which-
Yeah.
Or one of those guys.
That dog.
No,
Right, one thing, because you boys, that's what our drummer always said, now that every day's a Saturday,
yeah,
which you guys have got that job now.
yes, yeah. It's great.
It's not work to your wife after you got a few kids.
Dude, isn't that right? Like where you just sort of but also like I almost feel like I know it's not either, even though it is
I
work.
know,
You know what I
I know,
mean?
see.
And you're like,
Trying to make up
technically,
for it.
I do have to watch State of Origin with Eddie, and we might be drinking, and that
And
is
we might stay back 4 hours after the game's done. You know what I mean? But don't pull me up on that. Even I need to lie about the finish time of Origin sometimes.
Yeah.
I was like, I was a late one, extra time.
triple
Went to-
overtime.
Yeah,
You're
went to
like,
12:30. You don't read about it. You got to pick your battles.
So true. And then you can't hide it because it's all out in the open now. You're
Yeah.
like, you can't hide your happiness. Because one thing is like on the phone call, how was the gig? Oh, it was really hard. And, we just, I'm just trying to downplay it the whole time. And then really I'm like, I just want to share that like I used to be able to.
Yeah.
How are the kids? Shit.
yeah. They like to let you know,
wait
and
to
it's like,
Have you ever tried to be honest and go, it was fucking terrific
Yeah.
tonight?
Well, every now and then you just got to.
Yeah.
How was it? Unbelievable. I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Well, there's no use lying too when there's so much social media, right? It was tough. Got annoyed after the gig, and your bass player's on
yeah. He's filming
Facebook
you.
Live and got beer cans
Single.
on your head upside down.
Got his own apartment in Cairns, drinking
living.
tequila every night.
Oh,
Our
that's
bass
the
player,
way.
he lives
That's the
life
way.
to the full.
So how did it all start? Like, how old were you when you got into it? Like, what's the relationship with you two? I know that's sort of like I'm asking 50 different questions, but I guess like just the origin.
We just
of it
asked the
all.
50. Just ask
Yeah.
50 and let
Yeah.
them go.
Straight out,
So
we'll
you
go.
go.
Well, I'm a couple of years older. We're Rocky boys from Central Queensland. Jeremy's musical family, very musical, but I left boarding school, went to uni, and then I'd come home on the holidays, and Jeremy was playing with one of my mates, and just cover bands, and they were shit hot, Everyone was there, and I was like, hey, in between your sets, I'll sing my love song originals to the drunk crowd at Glenmore Tavern. It didn't go down well, but I still did it. And they were out there talking to all the girls and singing Lover Lover and Uncle Cracker. And
How did you feel having your mate be like, "Oi, can I come sing love songs?" Are you like, "Fuck, I
Oh, it
just got to
wasn't too
hear
bad.
it."
I was like, oh, yeah, go for it. It's like you're filling the gaps.
Yeah, right.
I'm out there chasing tail and Tom's
He's serenading him for you.
Tom's
the
staring
getting
at
him
longer I
ready.
play, the longer he could have a break attacking the girls. But yeah, but Jeremy he's a bit of a whiz on every instrument, but the guitar in particular. And there was probably that moment I realised, shit, how do you hold this crowd down with one acoustic singing slow love songs? Someone like him, cool looking black fella that can rip it off on the guitar would help. So a few years later, it worked. I finished uni. I came back home. There's the degree, mum and dad. I'm going overseas now. I'm going to save some money and take my guitar and travel. And before I left, I rang Jeremy and it's like, mate, can you help me sound good? And pretty much, yeah, that's what happened. We played at every pub for a year straight, every night of the week to all our mates. And no one was doing it in Rocky at the time. It was just old fellas with beatbox machines singing, pretty ordinary stuff. And so we came and then it kind of just snowballed. We didn't think we'd do it for a living, but we recorded an album. I didn't go overseas and so, hang on, I might hang about and work and see what happens with the music because, we're getting those calls.
Yeah, right. Well, how does that start though? So like you're just playing at pubs and people start to you're noticing just more people coming, or are you so what's that? 10 years ago? Did you say there's
probably 15, 20.
So you're uploading shit online and that sort of stuff.
There was nothing there.
I don't even think we did that.
Demo tapes and stuff. Could you buy demos?
4-track machines. We had these demos, mate, and we found them the other day. They sound like dog shit, but we thought they were so good. And I suppose the confusing thing for us was so did all our mates. Like they didn't have any. No one had friends that could play guitar and sing. It was all footy and Rocky,
Yeah.
Like, hang on, our mates play guitar. Get your guitar out. And so we recorded some demos, and then my brother was good mates. He went to boarding school with Pete Murray, and this is prior. We knew Pete prior to Pete Murray.
Pre-Pete Murray. Pete Murray.
When he was just Pete Marou.
When he was just still good looking. And
he's just a hot guy, you knew.
Oh, ridiculously athletic. Anyway, he played at one of my brother's weddings and he was concreting and he didn't pick up the guitar till he was 23, Pete.
Oh, really?
One of those guys.
Yeah, right.
And so he was a lot older than me, 10 years older, but he'd help, because I just wanted to write and sing. So we were I remember it was before mobile phones, ringing him on the phone, writing down lyrics to cover songs. He was teaching me that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so then overnight almost, he went humongous and he became Pete Murray. So we were nervous speaking to him. And he's like, hey, now that I'm mega, come up here in Byron. I've got my own studio. Why don't you come and do a demo up here and I'll put you in with a good producer. And that was the start of it really, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
I imagine that was quite an exciting, again, I assume now things are a bit more normal, right? Like you're used to this sort of life. When that sort of stuff starts happening, you're like
what is going on?
Every call is exciting.
Yeah.
I remember going to Pete's house with my little CD that I bought from the shop beforehand. It's like, can you ask him for a
signature? You wanted me to sign on my
You ask him.
So true. I remember when you walked up to him. I remember as clear as yesterday. You were like, "Fuck, you're not going to do it." All right, I'm going to do it. And you were like, I had to do it. You had to do it.
I didn't buy it for no
Excuse
reason.
me.
I had no money. It was my last $20 to buy his bloody album.
So true. Yeah, no worries. Anyway, you got the signature. You don't need it now. You've been on tour with him so many times. But and then from there, we did our own album and got it. We accidentally, I reckon, got a review in the Sydney Morning Herald back when reviews were apparently important. We didn't know. My sister that was living down here that knew more than us, and she was like, "You got a great review by this guy named Bruce Elder, and man, he's big time." And we're like, oh, "Okay, yep, cool." I had no idea. We're still in Rocky. And then from that they did this "He Will Have His Way" album, which was a tribute to the Finn brothers, and they get it was called "She Will Have Her Way," where they'd get all Aussie girls to do cover songs of the Finn brothers songs.
Oh yeah.
And then they did another one called "He Will Have His Way," and that's where they asked us to do it. We're the only unsigned band, and gave us "Better Be Home Soon," which was pretty good.
Hectic. That's a nice one to get.
Yeah, it was a very good one to get. And then Triple J and Snowball, all those calls just for the next 5 years were great.
So did you get a lot of love from Triple J?
We got enough love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did a version, and we were in the hottest 100. And then by that stage, they were like, "Hang on a minute, these guys are probably a little bit too country and are not as cool for this station." But it's too late.
Is that a bit?
Too late.
Is that a bit what they're like, Triple J? Is it like I'm trying to? And Dave over there, our two producers are a bit more Triple J. Dave and Tommy.
One of them's got a tattoo.
He's got a fucking Triple J tattoo on his thigh.
True story.
If it wasn't so close to his penis, we'd ask him to show it to you.
It's touching. So
Yeah, it's touching. Oh,
it's far too close.
One of these days.
But what's Triple J like? I know it's obviously meant to be sort of youth focused.
It's
but
supposed to be. And look, you can be dirty on it, and everyone is when you're not getting played on it. When you get played on it, it's the greatest, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's cool. But when you're not, you can get caught in it. We were lucky because we went to do our second album, and you start like thinking, "Oh, well, you want to get on Triple J? How do we write for Triple J?" But then they didn't add one song or play anything, and that was the best thing that happened to us. Because if they had we probably would have just just had one foot in the door and one out, and so then was like, oh well, let's be sellouts.
As in, you mean you would have been beholden to them? Is that what you're trying?
More like the way you write music. You probably want to write it that's current to what they're playing all the time, instead of just writing the way that whatever comes.
Is that what bands do? They write
Oh yeah. They can say they don't, but they do, don't they, mate?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Even old bands.
Go write something that sounds terrible and Triple J will play it.
Well, now we're not getting played again, are we?
I don't think we're getting played anyway.
Yeah.
What's it like? Because Rocky's a bit more Rocky, as you said. Like it's footy, it's blokey. It's sort of. Was there any? I guess was there any sort of like apprehension to muso sort of vibes in there, or was everyone like embracing of it all?
Not for us. Yeah.
Everyone wants to be footy players. Even us. Even I was playing. I was like, I'm still playing fullback for Broncos.
Oh yeah, I was definitely Alan Langer's
Like
next. Yeah.
It wasn't until it's like, oh, hang on, I can get girls without training, and I can get drunk in the process.
Yeah,
it's like win-win.
So
and we get footy players coming around, going, oh, wish I was just a muser. I've got to train. I've got to get up tomorrow and train in the morning.
It's funny, isn't it? Because I'm like Sam Thido's always on the guitar. Dale Finucane's always singing.
Dale Finucane, we reached out to him.
Oh yeah,
we actually offered him because he was singing, and the Melbourne Storm boys is a big Rocky connection. So a few of them come to some of the gigs every now and then. One of our support acts couldn't do Melbourne, so we were like, let's get Dale Finucane to support us. That would be hilarious in the corner.
Yeah.
Did he do it?
His wife's having a baby, and he wanted to, and he can sing. Have you heard him sing?
Yeah. I've heard him
no
before.
human has ever had more of a fucked speaking voice, and then can actually have like a nice singing voice.
Oh, worlds apart.
It's insane.
You can't imagine Gary Larson singing a tune, can you?
Yeah, exactly. Punters and dribblers, we are brought to you as always by our good friends at Ned's.
We're brought to you by Ned's. We're brought to you by Ned's.
If you're going to have a bet.
Hey, we're brought to you by Ned's.
Now, that's obviously, you've heard this one way later in the podcast. Obviously, we're referencing back to when we were singing at the start of the show. But we are brought to you by Ned's. And also, if you're hearing this in just a previous podcast, this has got
no context.
Although technically it will, because the bloke one will have been playing as well.
Correct.
Dynamic insertion, shout out to it. We are brought to you by Ned's, the number one betting platform in town. Big supporters of us here at Hello Sport. Look, I don't want to let you in on any secrets as to how About Even went. About Even, if you're not aware, Punters and Dribblers is our betting show, the number one betting show in town. I don't think anyone got a single bet.
No one did. But some people went worse than others.
Yes.
People that triple staked a lot of things went poorly.
Oh, did Daddy do that?
Sebo's triple staked 2 things.
Did he?
Yeah.
Sucked in. Ned's. If you go to the Ned's app and there is a group tab there, you're going to be able to join our private Ned's group. Obviously, Ned's has all the mod cons and all the things that you'd want to be doing from a betting perspective. But there's an About Even group in there where Eddie, myself, Sebo, Rando, Tobler are in there, and a shitload of other dribblers. And we can all share bets, copy bets at our secret passcode for that, Ed.
Dribbler. No S.
That's
Dribbler.
it. Dribbler.
See you in there.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on screen or visit the website. You guys are massive footy heads though, aren't you? That's sort of like...
Yeah. Big time. Whereas
New South Wales fans or?
Yeah, we thought we'd wait till after
I like
Origin.
how you situated the chairs here.
Well,
That
that's
was
actually not
actually-
intentional.
No,
but
that's
now that I
really-
see it,
It's
it's
makes
obvious.
perfect sense,
Yeah, very
Can I
obvious.
say they're
Subconscious.
very comfortable. for
We
talking.
look.
it's
Everyone
a-
says it, and it's nice because we.
It's a 5-piece modular.
Is it a 5-piece or 6?
It's a 6-piece modular.
It's good for short fellas because my feet can reach the ground. Thank you.
I mean, we've looked after everything. It's actually it's out the back under a tarp in the garage.
The rest of it,
Sit
yeah.
right.
It's unloved, but it's got a radio on the side of it, so it's
actually
very trendy.
We tried to get It was one of those things when we got this studio where we were like, we were basically just like children trying to fill a room, and it was like we just liked this antique 6-piece modular.
Yeah,
we
brilliant.
didn't need it, and then we got it, and we didn't need it.
Have
So
you got
now
have you got any tapes, like old cassettes you could give us?
Yeah.
Because we could slide
Yeah,
one
we
in.
could actually.
We were talking about that yesterday, actually. It's the new trend, if you're trying
It's
to...
gone back, hasn't it? It's like
Yeah.
cassettes are cool.
It's just constantly trying to, chart
Yeah.
what's easy to carry these days.
Well, that's true.
cassettes.
That's a good point.
Maybe that's what's on the cards.
Maybe it's on the cards.
If you want to buy the couches as well.
Yeah, you can buy the
you can
yeah.
buy
you buy the
looking
couch
for-
of us.
Yeah, okay. All right. We might be able to do something special.
There you go. But are you Cowboys fans?
Broncos.
Broncos.
Broncos came in and whenever it was, 88. And so Once Cowboys came in, it was, and they came out Super League anyway, so it was like, you either coming now or you're staying, and, we were pretty...
It's hard to change then, right?
We're not changing.
And you were the Broncos.
Well, Rocky's closer to Brisbane, isn't it?
Oh, it probably is.
I wouldn't
About
know
dead
that.
smack in the middle.
Yeah, my geography's not good about New
No,
South Wales.
it's a long drive.
Queensland.
But we love the Cowboys as well, of course, being loyal. I live on the Gold Coast. It's pretty hard to like the Titans. I'd like to see him go well. If Ben Hunt goes, do you reckon he'll go?
Yeah, I reckon he will. What do you like?
Well, I think so. I mean, if you hear enough whispers, then generally it's the truth, right? I think it makes a lot of sense. Like, Des is a great coach. He's obviously got four and up there. He's now a grandfather. I think that bodes well. They've got a good side, like Tino and Fafita.
Life's also too
Well,
short.
they have Tino and Fafita.
Well, they do for now. They do for now.
We we always get like just dribblers DMing us, but like that's as much as I need for a rumour to even slightly be true. You know what I mean? Like some complete random who's like, mate, heard this fucking...
Well, that's what we trade on. Complete randoms telling us things. Complete
That
whisper.
is what I love.
And it's funny because I know enough about our audience to know that they're all full of shit. So I don't know why we put any sort of weight into what they're saying. But apparently Tino's coming to
Manly. So.
Tino, oh.
You heard it here first, mate.
Well, mate,
You throw a
okay,
puppy?
so...
Well, no, we couldn't. But listen, we've probably thrown something in.
We could give him a stake in Hello Sport, maybe.
Yeah, sure. I don't know if that's
good buy.
Yeah.
So a bit of a Manly connection for you, right? So growing up in Rocky, not many people are big Manly Sea Eagles fans there, but now they are because of Seibs, right? Because everyone wants Seibs to go well because what the Bronx did to him, and he's actually my brother's best mate.
Is he really?
Yeah, they're both best man at each other wedding. They went to the Broncos together, and
So everyone at Rocky is pro Seibs.
yep.
But everyone at the Broncos is anti-Seibs.
Every old boy.
Old boys. He should have stayed at Broncos, but the Broncos players.
There
were
was
too
a whole
dumb to
story
get
with
his-
that, and I don't want to go into it, but he was set up.
You can go into it if you want.
Well.
As much as you want to have on.
The other thing is my brother-in-law was the CEO of the Broncos at the time when all that shit was going down, so it's kind of like trauma. That was some
Dude,
trauma.
that
going
must
on
have been
with
a
Wayne
tough
Bennett
time
and
for
stuff.
you.
Big time, because we love Wayne Bennett, and now it's like, oh shit, I'm going to get sold out here, but I don't care for the Dolphins now. You do a bit.
I like the Dolphins.
Yeah, but I like Wayne.
I also know that Wayne screwed the Broncos over. With
So
some of
Wayne
those
screwed the
old
Broncos.
boys.
It's funny because you like the,
100%.
again, the rugby league rumour mill is fantastic for just misdirection and confusing you. You don't know what the fuck's going on. I was always just like the Broncos fucked up.
Yeah. No, there's so many ins and outs, but they don't come out with it. The nitty-gritty.
Why do you think the people are anti-Seibs?
Oh, up there.
Well, yeah, but even down in Manly now, the drums are starting to beat a little bit
I
with
see the
fucking
footy show last night. but that's
Moses
just-
and whatever else.
That stuff, but that's like, I can see all that, but I think next year's going to change big time for Manly.
I hope you're
Peanuts
fucking-
coming,
I hope
holy
you're
moly.
Well,
We can only hope. Was your brother involved when Seibs was passed out in the Maccas? He said he was meeting up with mates. Was that when?
Yeah, he was
he was
there.
with him.
Yes, he was there. My brother, mate, see, he's hilarious. Have you just had a beer with him yet?
No, we haven't. We met him at the start of the season, but it was sort of we were there.
pretty
just like-
quick.
he didn't know
is-
the
I
fuck
think we were
we
sitting next to him, weren't we?
Oh yeah, in the team photo. We got
Mate,
the team
he's a
photo.
dead set legend, and like Iceman. You'd think that all that stuff would crumble him, like it'd crumble any other human being that happened.
Yeah.
sure.
Crumble me for sure.
Mate, it's like we all took it personal, but he didn't. They were even getting to his family and stuff, and
He got look. It certainly got beyond footy chat, didn't it? Where you
It
was a bit
did.
Like, this
It
is
was
a bit
pretty
fucking-
rough.
That's
But
pretty
then
rough.
after it, they came. My brother lives 3 doors down from me, and I'm the youngest of 8 kids, and he is the black sheep of the family. This one, he's mad as a cut snake, and he's good value. And him and Seibs are best mates. So we'll go to the RSL, the Currumbin RSL, the famous RSL, and we're having beers, and everyone knows Seibs. I'm like, are you sure you want to go here? Like, after everything's going, he's like, no, what? Hey, mate. And they all just want to come up and talk footy. And he just turns around, just talks to anyone about footy. And we're there, how's Turbo going before the season? No, he'll be good, mate. Like, he gives everyone the time of day.
Yeah, right.
Doesn't care if they see him having beers and having fun. So
I like the way he handled that Piston Macca's thing, where he's just like,
my mates came down from boarding
Come on.
school and
"Come on, I had the
I
week
was
off.
tired.
The game, I got
Yeah.
pissed and fell asleep in a Macca's."
yeah, it's like, oh yeah, that's right. We do that a bit too.
Yeah,
don't we?
I'm not beyond.
Well, I think it was a quick nap in between burgers because he'd had a feed and then he was like, I was just waiting for a couple more.
Yeah, he was sleeping off the first one.
And as you know, mate, sometimes you need to sleep off, Mackie.
You slept off a few birds.
Well, no, I lost an NFL bet on another show we do. It's like what was it? The fantasy
fantasy, and he didn't even field a
NFL.
side for the first 4 or 5
I
weeks.
gave up real quick.
It's only a 16-round season, so he was in big trouble. The loser, 24 hours in a McDonald's, and every cheeseburger you eat takes off an hour. He had 19 in 5 hours.
That's solid. That is,
dude. It was fucked. It was actually the worst thing ever. But I did it, and then I went home and I passed out, and then I woke up, and it was like. I woke up 3 hours later, but I thought I'd slept the whole night and it was the morning. And my wife was like, and I'm like, wait, is it time to go to work? She's like, you've been asleep for an hour. 3 hours. No. I was like, oof. So I can understand Seibs falling asleep in the Macca's. I understand. I'm not the first one to, well, he's not the first one to do it. But so you start getting notoriety. When does it get I don't know, when does it become a full-time job?
Well, we were both working for the same department. I was a lawyer before this. I was going to be Jerry Maguire. That's what I wanted to be.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Show me the money.
And then with one of my mates, who was an accountant, he ended up going on to do that. Looked after a lot of the players, still does. And music was sort of starting to take off. I moved back to Brisbane at the stage, and we'll get playing festivals. And then I got offered a big position. I was like, well, once I take this, the music's over. So I turned it down, and I went and worked for the Department of Communities. Jeremy's worked for the same company in Rocky. I was still a lawyer. And what were you doing?
Oh, I was policy advice, and I did nothing, to be honest. I'd ring Tom and be all professional.
Yeah, he'd ring me.
Hi, it's Jeremy from the Rockhampton office. And he's the guy, he'd be like, oh, Jeremy, how was the gig on the weekend? Oh, yeah, good. Is Tom there still?
So true. But we used up every flexi day, every holiday we had, playing festivals, and then we got signed.
Does your work know you're doing it? Like, they're aware you're not like sneaking off?
No, they actually were like, they were a bit older than us, and they were just like, mate, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, right.
Do you want your gold watch? Do you want this? 25 years. Do you want this?
Right.
Get out of here.
No.
Every time they walk past my desk, get out of here, get out of here. And I'm like, really? But it's scary. Jeremy had young kids too, so we're like, he just a bit of imposter syndrome. You're like, this sounds too good to be true. We can actually do this for a living.
Especially when you get drummed into you that if it is too good to be, if it looks too good to be true, it usually is,
mate. And that's growing up in Rocky. You're either a builder, nurse, doctor, lawyer. Yeah, you're one of those things, carpenter. But yeah, so we got signed back off the back of our song being added and a bit of thing added to Triple J and things happening. And I remember when we got. I
just wonder, how does a signing work? Like, do you have a manager at this point? Are you guys a bit like, where you're sort of bright-eyed and you don't know what the fuck's going on? Have you got some slick-haired agent coming in being like,
greased up?
We had one of our best mates from the pub in Rocky, owned the Oxford. He's killing it now. He runs all the festivals and does all the bars for the big touring festivals and stuff. Yeah. And he was running the pubs, and he came back from overseas, and there's this movement of us back there. He's like, fuck this, let's do it. We were a trio there for many years. And then both our careers just got too hectic. So he's still in touch with us, but he's passed us over to our current managers. But at the time, and you just reminded me of a really good story about us getting signed. A bloke named Tony Harlow, he was signed to Warner Music. He was the head of Warner Music. He's an English guy, signed Ed Sheeran and all that. Massive. Man, he walks in the room, you're shit scared, Like, he can make things happen. Right. And he's going to fly up to my house in Brizzy, and I lived in a share house down the road from where they found out yesterday what the Batoot Advocate guys did.
Oh, yeah.
They were next door doing all their things, and we were doing our things. And Jeremy was in Rocky. He flew down for this meeting. We were like, this is amazing. He's flying to our house. So Jeremy and our manager flew from Rocky, met me at the house, and Jeremy's still working. He's like, look, I've got to work. And we went, okay, you stay there and work. I'm going to go out and get all the meat and make it all look pretty and great. And we're just so excited. In the meantime,
little cheese
platters and shit. Yeah. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know.
Fully.
We had no idea.
Just trying to impress.
Blake just wanted to come up and just say, look,
suit?
I think you should come over and... Yeah, almost. No, well, it goes downhill very quickly. My cousin and best mate decided, I don't know why of all days to do this, came over to my house. Didn't want to do it at his house because his girlfriend get up in, but he wanted to cook a batch of hash cookies in our oven.
Terrific.
Mate, please.
This is the time to do it.
Please, not now. And Jeremy doesn't touch the stuff, never, he's working. Oh, we left him. Went shopping, get the meat, get a call. Jeremy, please come and get me, call the ambulance. Like, what are you on about?
I had no idea they were hash cookies. And I was hungry. So I got the whole batch on the couch. I was watching the 300.
Specific.
So I'm going, wow.
Kind of
I
a
reckon
trippy
I
movie
had
as well.
7 of them. I remember standing up from the couch and just going, boom.
Mate, the bloke's about to turn up. He's about to turn up in 40 minutes. And I thought he's bullshitting. Absolutely bullshitting.
Come home, I call the ambulance.
And I was like, he's having me on. We always used to stitch each other up. No, he wouldn't do this. This is the biggest move ever. He wouldn't do this.
No.
See if he'd do this. And then he said, I swear on my daughter's life. And I was like, get home now. Well, the time we got home, I'm a worrywart too, so stressing my balls off, and I get there. We lived in this house, which was in Brizzy, in Balimbo. It's a big slope. So right up the top of the grass up the hill, the neighbours just literally could see you. He's there in the fetal position, nothing on but a pair of Bronco footy shorts and holding a hose into his mouth. Clear as day. And as I walk in, he's like, sorry, Tom. I'm sorry, Tom.
Yeah, I thought I was going to die.
I
was begging him to get an ambulance.
Well, mate, like if you know that if you know what you've had, it's one thing, but
yeah, well, I
to
knew
not
what he
know,
knew.
and then it's all fucking hit you. You're like, oh my God. How long did it take for you to
I come
level
back
out?
about 5 hours later, maybe.
I had to get him out of the house. Had to make up a lie.
Yeah, so how'd you get him out? Like you
Threw his bag down, filthy. He got a friend of ours who was a pharmacist come around, pick him up and load him up the hydrolyte. She took him away and just like nursed him back to normality a bit. In the meantime, old mates turned up. My cousin felt so bad, so he came in to be the step in for Jeremy. They must have been thinking, what are you doing here?
Yeah, exactly.
You're not a Torres Strait Islander that can play guitar. That's why we want to sign you. He gets there and we're like, oh, hey, mate. We're like, oh. We went out for sushi. Jeremy's allergic to prawns and got food poisoning. He's had to take him to the hospital. Made up this absolute elaborate lie to get his guts pumped.
That's a good one.
Because he is allergic to prawns.
Yeah.
It could have happened.
Yeah.
It just didn't. It just didn't.
It could have. It could have. And then, anyway, we get through the night, having a good night, and then finally he gets dropped back around at the end of the night. And he's, oh man, you probably got the munchies by then, walking straight in.
I don't remember it, but yeah.
He walked straight in, the barbecue was still humming. There's some old steaks sitting on the thing, and they went, oh, Jeremy went, oh, g'day, Jeremy. You feeling better, mate? He went, yeah, those steaks still good? And went straight over and nailed the steaks. And they start calling him, come back, kid. Come back, kid.
Didn't you just have food poisoning?
And we eventually didn't say a word about that. Just the three of us, 5 of us knew, didn't say a word. Not even to our other manager who was with us at the time, and a bit of a higher up guy, who's now our manager. And then when we got a gold record, when they finally gave us the gold record, and our young manager went, righto, we got to get this off our chest.
Oh, that's great.
Told him the story.
So the meeting went well. You got signed then?
Got signed, yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, we flew down with the signing. Went in, had to go to work, meet the boys in Sydney. Had no more days left. Went into my boss and went, oh, look, I'm feeling a bit sick in the guts. Might have to go home, sick. First time I ever lied to him. Felt horrible about it. Went and changed out of the suit into the go-get-ems. Straight to the airport, met the boys in Sydney, got signed, had a big night down here at the Cricketers' Arms, called in sick the next day, which was legitimate. And yeah, but the worst thing is went back to work on the Friday when we got home and, are you feeling better? I just wanted to tell everyone.
Yeah.
Oh,
getting better. Had to wait for the next week.
And then you quit your job the next week? Is that sort of how that works? Or like, what do you do?
Yeah, we tried not to. We were still scared about the jump.
Yeah.
We actually got pushed. Our boss was like, mate, like, you can do this. Because we tried to get more time off and he's like, just go. This job will be here for you. So we're okay.
Yeah, you can come back for the gold watch.
You come back for the gold watch.
I'll let you back.
That's right. Well, Jeremy, it was harder for him. He had young kids. He's
A young family, so.
Yeah.
Once you did it, I was like, oh, well, we're both in for the long haul.
And haven't looked back. How good's that?
No.
What's the process like with writing songs? And I guess like not just like lyrically, but musically. How's that work?
Pretty much the same process for us. Oh, it has been. I'll just come up with a melody on the guitar, a bit of a progression, and keep it pretty simple, bit of a skeleton, and show Jeremy, and he'll structure it with all the flashy stuff. And then, generally the lyrics or whatever's thinking, it's like comes out of your mouth and shape the song afterwards. And we got awesome band down. We get to work with good producers and collaborators and stuff, so it kind of makes it easy. But we tour that much, and we're always on the road that, we were saying this, but before, actually, you just got to schedule those sessions in.
How often are you on the road? Like
mate, at a time?
Yeah.
Depends.
Can be weeks at a time, can be the weekend. But if we're on tour, like we'll tour Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll fly home Monday, and then we'll be flying out Wednesday again.
Yeah, you're stuffing up everyone's structure at home.
How do you feel about like those sort of 5 or 6 shows back to back? Are you sort of counting them off in your head, or do you love doing every single one of them?
No, the worst thing is it's 23 hours. We'll say from the moment you wake up, it's the gig. You're touring, you're talking about it, you got to do promo or whatever. It's all this other stuff, and then you get on stage and it's an hour. The main thing's an hour.
Yeah.
And it's over, and then you're like, okay, so that part's awesome. Everything leading up to it's just
the hardest thing is planning your nights, your big nights.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, if I can have a big one this night, I can do that hungover. We've got early travel.
You got to pack everything, all the live stuff.
But everywhere we go too, it's like everyone wants to catch up with you because every town you got mates. It's like, okay, come around my place and we'll have a big night. It's like, well, I can't really, but we plan them now. And if we fire on the same night, it's bad.
It's bad. Yeah.
So normally it's Tom having a big night. And then the next night I'm having a big night.
Oh, you got to share the load.
Otherwise, if we fight together, it's bad for everyone.
Yeah, it is.
How do you walk off stage though, like so pumped up and just go and chill out? Like,
I'll go straight to bed.
Do you really? I wouldn't be able to do that. I don't think.
No, I can't. I get it. I call it final night fever, because say if it's the boys get first night fever. I love first night fever too. But if if I wreck with the voice straight up, I just am so anxious about not being able to blow my voice out or sing and whatever, and generally it's fine. So I try to behave a little bit until the last night, and which is also worse if you have young kids at home, because you smack yourself on the last night and then you're going home to 4 kids.
Yeah,
happy birthday.
Yeah, loving it.
Is there any way you try to keep your voice in check? Because he struggles with his voice just doing the podcast.
Thankfully, my voice sounding nice doesn't really matter, but I mean, it's sort of people.
Well, you need to be audible, Tom.
Yeah, I get. Mine goes at the drop of a hat.
Talking's actually the worst for your voice. It's worse than singing.
Oh, really?
Talking
Definitely.
Okay, well that makes sense.
I can give you some, mate. I can give you some exercises.
Yeah, please.
What do you got for us?
Well, the best one is you look like a dickhead doing it. Yeah. Can we do it?
Where?
Yeah. It's like that.
What?
Looks good, doesn't it?
It's fucking, it looks like a tick.
It does look like a tick.
Shit, that is good. I've been called bloody Cole Sandlands, but I've never been called a tick. That's good. That's good. No, there's a thing called you blow straw technique. People swear by it, but when you're in real trouble, you just get prescribed some steroids.
Oh, yeah?
Drop them in the morning and away you go.
And have you had any situations where it's been fucked before a show and you've had to try and...
Yep. Had one I had to pull out on. Actually, to break my heart a bit. We did a co-headline tour last year with Casey Chambers.
Oh, yes. We've actually serenaded our listeners to Casey Chambers.
We have.
Sung
which went down like a lead balloon. There's actually someone in our Facebook group the other day calling for like a mute button for when we sing to be like automatically embedded in the show.
I did hear I listened to you, Brian Fletcher. You were talking to Brian Fletcher and you had a jingle for Dan Camp. That was really nice.
Oh yeah, because we actually did it. We did the jingle on Monday. It gets put through all the episodes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that jingle.
Danny Camp, he's a tramp. I was like, what's the tramp?
Yeah, listen. It started. Don't
overthink it.
Don't judge us for that. jingle.
Not at all. Actually,
but do you think we've got what it takes?
I do think, confidence to boot.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great. Anyway, so you lost your voice before Casey Chambers.
Well, I thought I never quite ever lost it on stage. I always thought I was about to. And somehow I've always pulled through, but just probably getting a bit older. Man, he had Jeremy doesn't talk on stage. That's his thing. And if I ever try to pass it over to him to talk, he just looks at me like I'm going to kill you, and everyone can see the tension. It's like, right, so I don't do it anymore. And I came out. I was like, right, let's just see. And I came out with the 2 hardest songs. And I thought, if I get through them, no worries. And I didn't.
Shit.
Literally blew it out, sold out show
really?
in Adelaide. Just busted the thing, busted the voice. It was bad, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good.
Jeremy, I'm like, I know what to do. I actually don't know what to do. We've had everything go wrong that you can think of, but never once have I not been able to sing. And it's so debilitating. And anyway, we had a big show the next day, and Jeremy had to take over for the last song and put him out of his comfort zone. I went home. I had to tap out, and we flew a mate down to step up for us. And everyone was okay with it. He knew the songs. He was Brad Butcher. Big shout out to Brad Butcher.
Shout out to Brad.
He's a good bloke and a good singer. And he knew the songs. And Jeremy had to basically do the Tom Busby
I
chat.
stepped up and did the chat.
Oh, you
did.
did it.
How'd you
Sang
find
the
that?
songs and
I talked a bit longer than Tom normally did.
What
Yeah,
did you
we went
talk about?
over.
You just
We
go
went-
out there and shoot the shit when it comes to your
We
brain.
went over times. Like, I didn't think I talked that much.
The one that
It's hard
doesn't
to
like
do,
to
mate.
talk,
It's
fucking
hard to
actually
do.
he really wants to talk more than anything else.
He's been bloody muffled for that long, and he just let loose.
Well, so what did you do when you couldn't sing in that show? Like when you started, did you just walk off? Like you're like, sorry guys, I can't
Had to
finish
end
the
it,
show.
yeah.
Yeah, we packed up and
Casey was waiting side stage. Like she was. It was bad, man.
Yeah, dude.
And when you do it for a profession and career, and also the worst thing is I was actually well behaved. Like it wasn't self-inflicted.
yeah, right. But would the perception have been that you guys were
Probably.
ripping and tearing?
Everyone has that perception of us. Yeah.
Okay, right, yeah.
I did drink too much, and the boys from Rocky. I suppose we do, but we're professional.
Yes, you still show
Of course.
Yeah, we
Did
just turn
everything.
up.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah.
Do you have
We're on the waters here
nightmares-
today, boys.
Do you have nightmares
right.
related to that sort of stuff? Like being on stage is your profession, like, and obviously that's sort of like the worst thing. But do you ever have nightmares now, or like things like where it's like your guitar fucking something happens or your voice goes again? Is it in your head, that sort of a thing now, or is it?
I don't really think about it too much. So
Yeah.
you probably do.
I
no?
do.
You
Yeah,
overthink
I've thinking,
everything.
but we've had everything go wrong. Our first gig ever, our first original gig, it was in Toowoomba of all places, which is strange. Sold out in this little theatre, little 300 people. We've been playing covers to our drunk mates forever, and that is easy. I don't know why, we're just easy. But what is hard is you're playing your originals. What do you do then once your song finishes? Look at each other and you're like, put the capo on that, and then we're going to play this next song. And there's just this awkward silence. And it's like, holy shit, that took a year to work out. So the first gig we ever did, Jeremy had this, Bon Jovi kind of start. Jeremy was going to walk on, do this solo forever. And I was going to come on like a legend halfway through it. And
The whole idea was
it's
cheese.
cringe. So bad. Anyway, thinking of this, Jeremy comes on and we're all pumped. It's all rent-a-crowd as well, so still nerve-wracking. And Jeremy, he took forever to start. I'm like, what is he doing? What is he doing? He's walked on and he plugged his guitar in. In the meantime, between sound check and the gig, the whole, the electrical.
The jack had gone up into the guitar.
Oh,
So I walked on and was like, yeah. And I just didn't know what to do. So I sort of froze and looked around a little bit. So I've just put that guitar down. I saw Tom's guitar sitting there. So I walked over to him. And it's like silence, lights on. Walked across to the other side of the stage. Picked the guitar up, plugged his in, started strumming. It was in a different tuning. Stopped, retuned, started again. The capo was on a different spot. Took that off, then started. It's like, the boys must have gone, what's going on?
What's going on?
Then
Imagine the crowd
then
going,
the boys
"What's
are going.
going on?"
It was just like pin drop.
I couldn't see. And I'm like, what is going on? Oh, my God. And then the crowd lit up. He started playing. They all lit up. I'm like, oh, great. We're back on. We're back on. But I didn't know he took my guitar. Back before, no guitar techs, no spare guitars.
yes.
I didn't even think he
right.
had spare strings. And I walk on, yay, how you going? I'm here. And by this stage, I didn't know anything bad was happening. Jeremy had just gone to a shell, just like, he doesn't know his guitar's gone yet. And I so the first song was without a guitar, thinking I don't know.
Everything's all
Elvis
good
Presley or
here. Yeah,
something.
we're nailing it.
And turn around for the second song and, where's my guitar? Jeremy didn't go, I've got it. He just let me work it out. I'm looking all around the stage.
It's always just like, let's just pretend like nothing happens here.
What
Head in
we
the
do?
sand, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate, it was panic modes. But we always have a couple of songs up up our sleeve at the back that get you home, no matter how shit the start is. So we got home. We lived over that bloody finish line. But that was our first gig, and then everything. Yeah, so we've had everything go wrong.
Yeah, how
so
do you guys?
About that part.
Eddie and I, well, Eddie, you do it more than I do, but like you'll often, when Eddie's had a drink with a few mates, he'll play a game like the singing game where you basically have to pick a song and try and sing it as well as you can. And it's like you can tell if like if people aren't trying, like if
you have to
still,
start. You have to go again.
You have to go again until you really
put your heart
like,
and your soul.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, your heart and your soul, and we all sing the same thing, so it's not like someone gets something easier than someone else.
Yeah.
You go around the circle. You got to put your heart and your soul into it, and I'm awful. Everyone else is awful. But there's a couple of gems here and there. Like there's a couple of boys that are all right, and you're probably leading down the path of how do you know?
Yeah, like, how do you know you're a good
singer?
singer? Like when does that start? And like what's the?
And when do you let people? When do you let the world
when do you let
know?
people know? Exactly.
Well, for us, we didn't know. I mean, I'm from, as I said, big family, and it was a fight for the microphone. I'm the youngest, so I was never the better singer in my family. That was their job, and I suppose.
So it was a musical family, though, like
musical, yeah. Naturally, could just sort of sing. Got a brother and a sister that can sing really, really good, but I didn't have much of a voice in that, so I'd branch off to boarding school, and that was my thing, singing funny songs, And so I just started getting a bit of attention, and then, as Jeremy mentioned earlier, the girls start liking it, and as a short fella, didn't have abs and stuff. Nice way of saying I was fat as well.
You're in good company.
It worked.
Yeah.
Still work. I'm like, shit, you don't need to be buffed up.
That's how you know. You drag along to a party, and if you can trump the jocks, you got them covered. You're good.
Have you had classical training over the years, or you just
No. Neither of us had training. I mean, if you see, Jeremy can play everything: piano, guitar.
Not that well. Some good, some bad.
Have you always? How many? Like, what was your first instrument? How did you sort of pick them all up?
I started on the drums, and then I got stuck on the bass, and then the guitar was always around.
Yeah.
So, big Torres Strait Islander family, 10 boys in one room, and it was
10 boys.
Yeah, I was living in Rocky, and a couple of my cousins got sent down to go to school down there.
Okay,
schools
right.
up north, so. It was competitive.
Oh, far out.
We had the whole band stuff set up in the room.
Oh, really?
Drums, guitars, and boxing gloves, pretty much. So,
so can all your brothers play?
Yeah, they're all pretty handy.
Yeah, that always be saying, "Is Tom coming over for the party? Can you guys sing?" I'm like, "Why am I here? Why?" Because they're so much better than you.
Yeah.
Just go, great, my turn.
And what about the piano? How's that coming? Like, do you have all that in there? Is it?
Yeah, the piano. Yeah, I can play a little bit. I haven't learned how to play properly, and sometimes even when I'm in the studio, people who actually play, I go, "What are you actually playing?" But it sounds good. It sounds.
Yeah,
normal.
you're just sort of vibing it out.
You just put with the sounds in the right key, just put a few together, and away you go.
So then, are you doing a lot of that? For the arrangements of the songs, like will you be like, oh, like how much of, because I know from like the little I understand in terms of like what a producer will do, like I guess they're giving you like ideas to like, what if we put something in like this? Do you guys mainly drive all of that?
We do a bit now, don't we?
Now we do. Most of it will be driven on the guitars. Like, can you play? And then we'll get someone who actually can play properly quickly, and I'll just sort of, hey, try this part or try that part, and we work that way, but it's too easy to get session musicians these days that are just unbelievably freakish.
Yeah, right.
Our keyboardist plays freak, mate. He played with Wolf Mother for years, and he's classically trained.
Oh, dude, is that because there's? I mean, is that the Joker or is it Mind's Eye? That doodle 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 doodle. Is that him?
That's
him.
Oh, sick.
Got the hair and stuff. And he's
amazing.
such a good human being as well, but he's just like Mario Kart and piano. Like,
that's what, 64?
Switch.
Switch.
Yeah. Like he'll be talking about the gig, and he'll be, I think we should go to F sharp there, and blah blah blah. And he's playing.
Oh
the game.
wow!
Well, he'll take it wherever. So we'll be in a backstage room. Or if he was here, just happened to be here, he'd be on that TV over there.
Well, we've got Mario Kart
and gets us all into it. We're all into it too.
Brain's just it's completely different, man.
Really?
Ian Perez.
Ian Perez. Yeah, P-R-E-S. Great. All our band are great, and he's an awesome addition. He's playing with everyone at the moment. In fact, we won't have him for long. All the big dogs are.
Oh, what? Yeah, they all start coming.
So the people that you use for like the recording sessions, are they generally in your band when you tour as well?
Yeah, generally, unless it depends if you're overseas or whatever. But mostly, I mean, some of the times you don't even need it. You can just do Jeremy and I and the producer if you get it all done. Depending on who you're working with. it helps if they're in there. They know the parts. Less to rehearse, which he likes.
I hate rehearsal.
Knock it over and off you go.
Oh, that's his motto.
How long does it take you to come up with a song generally? Or is it like was it sort of horses for courses? Just
if it's a good song, real quick.
Yeah. Is that generally how it goes?
Yeah. Talk about any of the big hits they always talk about. You know, most of the big hits, whether it's Coldplay, for example, wrote their album and then they finished and he went and did Yellow outside. You know, Yellow.
Yep, of course.
What Bruce Springsteen finished his album, Dancing in the Dark. Get back in, let's do that.
Right.
Bernard Fenning was the same for Wish You Well, and we haven't had one of those hits yet, though. So I'm not sure why we're comparing ourselves to those guys. But
It's like we finish the album and go, should we just go and muck around?
Yeah. I'm just going to go outside for like 5 minutes and just see what I can come up with.
we just want to go home. Right.
I was just going to say, like, once you finish an album, like when you spend a lot of time in the like editing, you like obviously part of the editing process, right? Like you're hearing it so many times over and over again. By the end of it, are you over it? Like you sort of, it's hard to. Is it hard to sort of go? Okay, that's finished.
We are definitely over it. No, I got to say, probably one of the only bands that are like that, though.
I'm over it as soon as we finished recording it. Like finish guitar, put the guitar down. I don't want to hear this song. Show me it when it's on the album.
Yeah.
They go back and forth so many times you can get a little bit annoying.
Man, and you just I got hats off to producers, man. They are so, and these guys are probably the same, just on like so meticulous and from
that was very generous.
I wasn't even going to let you finish a sentence. I'm like, nope.
They just stare at the computer for hours on end, and like I don't know how their brains comprehend it, and they put it together. But round and round the circle it goes for me. It's just I get confused in there.
And then once it's done, is there ever like you'll hear a song back, it's on the album, and you go, fuck, I would have loved it if I could have done. But like, do you have any like new ideas?
Yeah, you got to get that out of your head.
Yeah, I bet. It'd send you
Otherwise,
mad.
they'll send you back in to do it again.
Right, yeah.
Which we did a bit on this last album. Funnily enough, we recorded this song and we thought it was, maybe it is shit hot. Maybe it is. We thought it was the best song. Our manager came in and went, we've done it. We've written a song. We listened on repeat. We did it all, blah, blah, blah. Thought it was great. And maybe we both got a bit of feedback from back home from our, loved ones.
Right.
That might have just gone, And it's not on the album now. And it was the one
really?
That was definitely the one. I was like, we're going big time. Not on the album.
Really? And it just didn't make it on?
I think someone said it sounded like someone that we didn't like, and we're like, no.
Oh, really?
Do you ever feel like, I think back to like the Queen with Bohemian Rhapsody, we're like, this is going to be the single. And they're like, no, it's fucking not. It's ridiculous having that long. Like, yeah, we're doing it. Have you ever had to stick to your guns with any of the songs that you've wanted on an album, but other people haven't wanted? Like,
I reckon we should have.
Yeah.
Honestly, or at least what singles are, because you sort of trust in people that know, like, they know what's working from the marketing point of view, but even they'll be self-confessed now. The labels are like, we do not know what's going to work.
Yes.
Yeah. No one knows what's going to work now.
No.
Who knows?
How can you?
You can't.
Like, you listen to some of the biggest songs in the world, you're like, yeah, sure, but like...
You also listen to some of the big songs and you go, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Well, I just mean most of them aren't like, oh, that's the best song that's ever been written. Like, that should be the best song in the world. It's just sort of...
I know. You just don't know. And, like, they say, but when we were a few albums back, it was all about, it has to be upbeat to get on radio, or, it has to be a certain tempo or whatever. And, like, then John Legend comes out with a song on a piano. Like, well, why is that working?
Yeah.
Can't we just sing that acoustic, can't we?
Yeah.
So, no. But we should trust our instinct.
Is there any song that you wish you made a single that you sort of regret?
Probably Ed Sheeran's first single.
I look back on some of our early songs. I reckon that should have been a single. But hey, like again, who really knows?
Yeah. But so then, how I guess. So when you're writing albums, right? Like, and I guess more from a lyrical perspective, but maybe more broadly as well. I guess there's a vibe to each album, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a bit of whether it's a influence or whether it's a mood or whatever it is. I imagine then you can't like go back and be like, well, we left that one off that album. Fucking let's whack it into this one, or can you do that?
No, we did that actually.
Oh, okay,
yeah, we've done that a lot. We did that. We wrote. Do you know Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish?
I do, but I definitely know who he is. And then there'll be a song, and I'd be like, I know who he is.
So Hootie and the Blowfish were massive in the 90s, and they were like, it was the biggest debut album ever, and Let Her Cry and all those songs. Anyway, he's now become this international country superstar. Wagon Wheel. Rock me, mama, like a wagon
Oh,
wheel.
yes. Yeah.
That's
massive. He's
like the karaoke song.
Oh, yeah, he's big. And I think he's like the first black American ever be number one in the country charts over there, whatever. Anyway, he's humongous sport fan. Like he runs golf podcasts and
Really?
NFL. Yeah, he's huge, and he's in with it. Anyway, bit of a legend. We were over there recording. The whole moral of the story is that song ended up making this album. It didn't make the last one. But
Yes, right.
we were over recording, and someone said, "Do you guys want to write with Darius Rucker?" We're like, what? What are you talking about? He lives in Charleston in South Carolina. So we went down to his house with no idea what was happening. No one could tell us any more info. Felt like a stitch up, to be honest. We get there to his house, this ridiculous, beautiful house, and he's like pushing each other first, a bit nervous. And he's like, "Yeah, come in, boys." We're like, "Hey, we got in there. Why are we writing? Are we writing for you, for us?" We're like, "What?" They were like, "I just love Aussies." And I said, "Yes." Well, okay.
Sick.
Should ask the question a bit more then.
Yeah. And what's the experience like of writing with someone like him? Is it
Easy.
Yeah.
Oh, the writing part was like cool. It was fun. But I was just sitting in that man cave of his.
Oh, mate.
He had a TV screen, probably the size of this entire wall, with every sports channel on there.
Yep.
And he had the laptop up and he was punting on different games.
He's just loving it.
While we're doing it, and I'm looking at around this stuff, and I'm like, "Tom, it's a green jacket. I bet you that's a." Tiger Woods green jacket.
Tiger Woods green
It's his
jacket,
third-
his red polo.
Is that Tiger Woods? Yeah, it's his third one. It's just his third PGA jacket.
And you've just got it.
Hanging in his
They're all
room.
mates. They're all chums.
It's unbelievable.
Really?
And then he had this sick guitar in the corner. It was like this massive double bass looking thing. I was like, wow, what's that? And he went, "Oh, yeah, Justin Timberlake and Chris Stapleton were here last week. They just gave it to me." I'm like, we don't belong here. But it was cool. But yeah, I don't know whether he was just like, let's get this session over, because he just kept saying yes to everything. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great. Or he just doesn't overthink the songwriting process, which I'd like to think is, the way he writes. And yeah, this song at the time we really liked it, but we didn't get a chance to it didn't make sense for the other album. We didn't get a chance to put it on, and we've revisited it, and now it's it's on the album. It's good.
That's satisfying then, at least, where you can go back. Maybe we go back with this other one you left off as well.
Also, selfishly, we were thinking, hey, maybe he might be part of it and help it be big.
Maybe he release it and we actually make money.
And I reached out to him because they were like, "We'll reach out to him." I'm like, I didn't want to, because I didn't want to be turned down. I was like,
I get it. Yeah.
So I did. No, I thought, bugger it, I did.
You asked him?
Yep.
And he's on it?
No response.
Fuck it.
You fucking got to be in it
He
to win
changed
it,
his
don't
number,
you?
I reckon. I think he changed his number.
Yeah, he must have. Yeah. What a dog.
No, he went to the keeper.
Fuck Darius Rucker. Respectfully, of course. I take that back. But the US country sort of market is humongous. Hey, I imagine
Mate.
that's is that I guess in the same way where you're you don't necessarily want to do anything to try and get big, specifically, or get on Triple J, play the specific songs, but I imagine that US market is something that's
massive.
You'd be eager to crack.
You even get a little bit of it. One of our good friends, she is the best singer ever, I reckon, to come out of this country. Now, she wasn't getting played on Triple J, or wasn't getting any love here, so she's more of a top liner, which they sing the melodies.
Right.
So she went over to LA and she's
Could you just give me an example of who a contemporary top liner would be that I would know?
Sia.
Okay, yep.
Even though she sings her own songs, top liners don't necessarily wouldn't know their names.
Right.
They do the top lines for all the superstars,
Gotcha.
and just hitting melodies that their brains naturally do because they're such good singers. And she's that. She could do it. She could do her own thing as well. When I first went to stay with her, it's like a blow-up mattress, just like the shittiest apartment ever. And the second time we went over, and here's a song that she wrote last time I was there. It was it's getting a bit of traction. And then the third time we went over, it was climbing up to number one. It was Anne Marie and Marshmallow. It was a song called Friends. It got to number 2 in America.
Wow.
And now she owns, oh man, she's loaded.
Oh, really?
So basically, you get to number 1, number 2 in the States, you're home and hose.
Oh, big time.
They call it the Millie song.
The Millie.
Really?
Millie.
She was the first in Australia to get 1 billion streams.
1 billion?
Yeah, with that song. Yeah.
Wow.
And she's got it more since, she's written with everyone. And then it just opens the doors for hey, now that you got that, can you come in with One Direction? Can you come in with,
For sure.
do you want to do a session with Ed Sheeran or
Yeah,
whatever?
right.
What does 1 billion streams get you from Spotify?
Probably
$5,
$17.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'll ever be able to tell you that, but I don't know. No, that would be substantial.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you just hear that artists get fuck all from Spotify.
Yeah.
So.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
We get nothing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's what's your perception of the music industry generally, like whether specifically Australia maybe, but just generally, and how artists do you feel like you get your fucking what you're worth? Because it seems like you don't.
Oh, it's hard
in
man.
that regard.
There's so many different opportunities now, so you can't you just got to make your opportunity.
Yeah.
Either adapt or don't.
Yeah.
You know, social media, you can be scared of it for ages, TikTok and all that shit. But if you
Are you on there yet? We try to be on TikTok. It's like
I saw you guys are on Threads though.
Well, that's basically
We
just
just do
like
everything.
it's like, oh, they're Threads. Yeah, sure, we're on Threads. Have I been in there once? No, I think Dave and Tobler might have been in there.
We need you guys.
I don't even know what a thread is.
It's basically our Instagram videos on Threads,
Yeah, I
which
know,
is
I
owned
saw
by
that.
Instagram
Yeah.
in a different format. Sure, like we'll go along with it.
Mate, I tried to jump on. I was like, bugger this. I'm getting on early and I'm going to interact. And I just,
You get
I
massive.
even threw my balls on the line and threw a question out there to get an answer back. Nothing.
Would you?
First world problem, I said. First world problems, I'll go first. Got off the drink for a month. Off the drink for a month, and the first gig is a wild turkey bourbon gig. Not that funny anyway. My wife thought it was all right at the time. I went, no, I'll just keep doubling down on it. And then at the end, she went, you're a bit thready today. And so I went, my wife says I'm thready, I'm off.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
Did you put it on twice?
No, I just kept putting other shit on. And
Right.
Anyway, it turns out I've resigned.
Yeah, you've quit
Tried, I had the
Threads?
boots up. I look at it every now and then.
Yeah, look, it's an illustrious Threads career you've had.
Thank you.
It's quite a.
I went out hard.
Short-lived.
Come out of the blocks
Short-lived.
harder than any other platform I
Do you guys have to do most of your own social media and stuff? Like, how do you? I mean, outside of Threads, obviously it's very new, and it sounds like you've got that sorted.
Maybe some more established social media. Instagram, Facebook, that sort of thing.
do need a bit of help with it. We have just brought on a mate of ours that's helping. He just helping it because the album's coming out.
Yes.
Just getting more content because when we're with each other, it's like either me filming Jeremy's calf muscles while he's rehearsing. It's just like, how many photos of Jeremy from side on do we have to put up, you know? So he's just bringing a bit of variety and a plan, and it's helped so much. Takes that pressure off as well.
Big time.
Just about trying to make it authentic without being embarrassed. Which we
You just got to own it.
You got to own it. You get it. Yeah,
yeah.
so true.
Seriously.
Like, you know, we don't like self-promoting ourselves, but now I feel more comfortable hiding behind Hello Sport than doing it of myself.
Yeah, I'm
Does that make
definitely
sense?
not on my own Instagram at all. It's
No.
like photos of my kids maybe, or like.
Yeah, well, you kind of use it as a bit of a thing to filter it in.
Yeah, but on the Hello Sport one, it's like you just sort of talk a bit of shit.
Yeah, but I wouldn't like.
You got a mate to kind of share
tough.
the embarrassment with as well. Which
Yes,
100%.
it helps.
we got as well.
It helps.
And it's not. I mean, it's what it is. It's just adapting, really, isn't
Yes,
it?
yeah, you're right. It's the adapting. If you don't do it, you're doing yourself a disservice.
And mate, to be honest, what actually got me over the line is when I got on TikTok for the first 2 years, we didn't post a thing, and I just started getting the algorithms right, and then all of a sudden, my algorithm started being people cutting lawns and.
Dude, but sometimes
renovating.
that's some good shit.
Well, it was like, hang on, these guys have got the shit going on. And I was like, they're my age.
Yeah.
And they're not, doing dances.
But don't you also find, firstly, I don't know if it is a sign of the fact that I'm getting a little older, that I can look at a good lawn on Instagram and be like, shit, that's
It gets me going.
That's
That and a nice
you
clean
go down a rabbit
pool.
hole with the old lawn.
There was a bloke I used to follow who cleaned pools, like real shitters over in the UK, because they cover them up for all of winter basically.
Yeah, just on a time lapse.
And he ended up getting millions of followers on TikTok.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Well, what a great business model for him now. He just doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to put any posters up, does he?
No, exactly.
No, it's exactly right.
But the frustration then is that when we're trying to run a business that's heavily social media based, you're like, how's this piece of shit just trimming grass? And he's getting 1 million views and I can't find
I know.
what is going on.
Hey, we always say it. That's the advice we've just been given to young artists. Don't look at anyone else's backyard.
Exactly right.
Some posts just go nuts. I put a post up, not a music one. I want my music ones to go nuts. I put one of me whinging about the penalty count for game 2. 600,000 views. Yeah. Then I put something like, get the album. 20.
Mate, what was wrong with the penalty count for game 2, mate? You guys were fucking
Everything.
ill-disciplined.
Bring back Barry
should-
Gomes.
You were ill-disciplined. and we still lost.
We did lost. We got pumped.
Actually, I think it was game one. It was just
You're
real disciplined in both
penalties
of
that they didn't pick up on, which were just atrocious.
Do you subscribe to the idea that essentially we won Origin if you count that like we shouldn't have lost game one?
Oh, that is hilarious.
Well,
Someone else said that the other day.
yeah.
It's like,
If you think about it.
but like you said before, you did.
Well, no, very
I
technically
did say that.
speaking.
So you've got me on a play back there.
You kind of just gave it to us in the end.
Well, you had a
Like,
man in the
you know,
bin. We're up by, 6 or 8 or whatever it was.
Well, no, we're up by
Penalty
two.
Penalty count was crazy.
Man in the bin. Then you guys scored.
With 8 to go, I think.
2. Tries.
Well, yeah, the first one, and then fucking Lindsay Collins out jumps to
Wasn't that good? I mean,
are you guys worried that Billy Slater's starting to smell his own farts?
I did say.
not
Funny,
one
I listened to that part that you were talking about. You know, his
Bush
press
poet.
conference.
Yeah, the bush poet.
Yeah,
Bill.
I was like, come on, Billy, get back to riding those horses, mate.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he will.
Well,
Listen, he'll be.
He sniffed those fluffs for long enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, we're a bit worried down here.
He's getting high on his own supply, Bill.
Oh,
you know,
you wouldn't
he's,
you love him to be there? Because God, it looks like we got something cooking up there. Eh?
I know. it
Oh, you
does.
certainly do.
Yeah.
Tell us this. I've always been curious from a New South Wales point of view. Who is your most who do you hate when the ball gets into his hands? Like I remember watching when I was young. Like, don't give it to Laurie Daly. Don't give it to Laurie Daly.
Don't give it a Munster.
Yeah.
I mean, it was GI though for most, for like the
GI.
longest. It was just GI.
When he
Like
was running that ball, in the
he
stands,
was
unbelievable.
that team was hard to hate. Like it was. Don't worry. I found a way to
tried.
hate him. I found a way to
Yeah.
hate him, but like.
Yeah.
It was like the only person I hated was probably Hodges because he was such a
Yeah,
grub,
yeah,
you know, like
yeah.
he was always
Everyone
niggly.
hates Sam Thorpe here too, don't they?
No.
Oh no, Thorde's all right. I didn't think
He used to
Thorde's
come
kind
in
of
for the
funny
Not
ladies
as
as much.
well.
It's a bit 50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah,
50-50 Sam Thorpe.
Hodjo was a tough one to
Everyone
to
hates
get around.
Hodjo.
Well,
Well,
but
hated.
yes,
Yeah,
we love
yeah.
Hodjo now.
Of course we love him now. We love everyone now.
No.
But in the spirit about it, okay, we even tried to, like, you know, if you think about it, Cameron Smith never did anything wrong. And we've still sort of come up with a narrative
But
that
that's
he's like
probably
a piece
why
of
you didn't
shit,
like
you know
him.
what
You'd
I mean?
prefer it if he.
Yeah, give us a reason to hate you, please.
Hey, I'll give you a reason to like him. I live at Currumbin on the Gold Coast. My nephews play for him, and Matty Guy's the coach. My brother's part of it as well. And he's best mates with Cameron Smith. So Cameron Smith's moved to Goldie, and his kids go to school there.
Yep.
The other day, we're just watching, and here's Cameron Smith running the water. I'm like, what's going on here? He's running the water, and he's telling the boys behind the line, okay, you get in here, take your time. Now's the
Really?
Yeah, and I got all we could hear him talking. It's like they're just sitting there like this, like puppies. And then afterwards, he goes in the beer and has the sculls of beer with them.
Really?
How good's that?
Unbelievable.
How old were the kids?
A grade.
Oh,
It's A
okay,
grade, but he was
right,
under
right.
20s and A grade. He ran the water for it all.
Really?
Yeah.
He seems like a great fella.
He
seems like a great
I've
fella.
never met him. Only briefly, actually, but yeah, he's apparently a good bloke.
But back to that Queensland, like who you feel like Greg Inglis, just all timer, like just he was just you're just terrified as soon as he got the ball in his hands. But like he's close to my favourite player ever. I think Greg
Yeah,
Inglis.
he's
Like,
just
so
a
good.
once in a lifetime, isn't
Yeah.
he? Did you see Xavier Coates wind up on the weekend? Did you see
Oh,
that long
yeah.
range
Oh,
try?
yeah.
He just
Listen.
kept getting. It was like Greg kept getting faster and faster.
he's a weapon.
We were talking yesterday. If you had to choose a New South Wales player
Oh, yeah.
to come into Queensland team, we adopt, who would it be? And we both agreed on the same person. What would your Queensland player
Well,
be?
who was your player?
Matt Burton.
Yeah.
You'd adopt Matt Burton.
Yeah.
See, you know what's good at that is that he's a player that would get fucking picked by Queensland,
Yeah.
and we don't pick him, and
Yeah.
it's so
Well,
funny.
why he's not in your
He
team?
didn't, get, he didn't get
blows my
picked.
mind.
He didn't get picked.
No,
Yeah.
he
That's what I
didn't
mean.
get
Listen, Bradman Best did a job, and Stephen Crichton was solid.
But you find a way
still.
to get just get
just
him in the
looks
side.
Because we, like, you and I wouldn't have picked Matt Burton.
I would have picked him over Clint Gutherson.
No, I'm saying
That
in
was
that,
the
in the
weirdest-
answer to that
Oh,
question.
yeah.
That's the weirdest
Who would you
selection
pick from the Queensland team?
Yeah,
Who would I
as-
pick for
to be a
Queensland?
New
To
South
be a New
Wales
South
player.
Cameron
Wales.
Munster.
Yeah, Munster. Like, but Munster's obvious, right? So,
Yeah.
like, if I was
Or
going
outside
any
of him.
player, any player, because it's like another bloke that would make our Queensland side, Jake Trbojevic.
yeah, well, see, then Ruben
absolutely.
Cotter would be one from
Oh,
you. Ruben
yeah.
Cotter,
Oh,
Tino.
That type of player just seems like when he was left out. You know,
Again, we don't get it. A
I
lot of the time,
don't.
you know?
That's anyway. We don't.
Listen,
wanna
we
get
eat
into
it like,
secrets
as
about
Matty John says, we eat our own down here. Like, that's just what we do.
Yeah.
We can't get out of our own fucking way.
And look, it's been a problem because you always had somebody to choose from. Where we never really did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do now, but we used to just have to pick who we had to pick, and then anyone that was a fringe player end up getting a start and playing unbelievable. You're like,
Yes.
well, now we know John Doyle.
But like Ruben Cotter would not have been picked when he might now.
No.
But like he would never have been picked for New South Wales. Like he's just not that sort of
you're
someone that we
right.
just like skip past. Like we, with the greatest respect to Tavita Pangai Jr., we picked Tavita Pangai.
Yeah,
Jr.
yeah.
Who openly said that he wanted
I wanna
and
play for
supports
Queensland.
We just, again, it doesn't make any sense.
And then we just all like justify it, going, "Oh no, fuck, he was young, he was having a rough day, or whatever." And then it's like you get in there and you're like,
he's having a rough
This guy doesn't
day.
give a fuck.
Like, I don't know how many blokes you've picked that openly saying they fucking love New South Wales.
Well, there's no chance.
Like Luke Keary almost went to the High Court trying to
play for Queensland. I know the poor bugger.
We picked him.
I know. There was this weird radio segment in Brizzy the other day on the eve of the Origin where New South Wales players wanted to go up and become.
We saw
we saw it, dude. It was fucking disgraceful.
The punters, you mean?
Triple M Brisbane.
Dan Anstey and Margot. It was the
And Mardo and
Triple M,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they had to get baptised in the
They got
Brisbane.
baptised.
That's it. Yeah.
That was
We are of the opinion that they were Queenslanders just doing a cheap stunt.
must have been, or they don't like footy.
Yeah,
And
that
they
was
just-
no.
yeah.
It was
Because you, like, shame on you if you're a fucking New South Wales doing that. Like,
No.
shame on you.
Queenslanders don't have respect for that. You know,
No,
like,
that's what I mean. It's
You're
like,
a turncoat,
Yeah.
like our producer Dave, who's never been to Queensland.
He's never been
goes
to Queensland, goes for Queensland.
That's bullshit.
You've
I've been
never
to
been
Queensland
there, mate.
many times.
No, yeah,
No, you haven't.
Many
Never
times.
been.
Are you Victorian?
You've flown over it.
No, I'm from Sydney.
That's brilliant.
Born and raised. He's never been to Queensland. He's flown over it on his way to fucking Bali or something. You know?
I've
plenty of
had
times.
about a couple of mates, big New South Wales supporters, say to me, I hope New South Wales get belted in game 3 so they sort their shit out.
There was a part of it where, like, I never want New South Wales to lose, but it was definitely one where it was like,
It's
I was over it. I was a bit sort of like jaded by
Are
the
you
whole
worried
thing.
because that's
No, I'm now
that
I've seen
win
Bradman
now's
Best
confused.
in New South Wales Blue. I'm
Mate, he
confident
has one
we got a
good game.
dynasty.
No, we're
Queensland
concerned.
and he trouts on about fighting
it's like
at
what
school,
he,
isn't
now
it?
what? Who's going to make? I don't even know.
Cody
what-
Walker, he's young at 34 years old.
Mate, they're not picking him next
I know,
year. Look,
I know.
You got a whole new halves next year.
Yeah,
and
well,
they'll screw a couple
Nathan
other
Cleary will
players
be
up.
back. Jerome Lewis.
Unfortunately,
that's
unfortunately, it's
hard
one of those series where at the start of it, I was like, our side's so fucking hot and sexy, and there's no way we lose. And now at the end of the series, I'm
He's
looking at it, and they
two
look
minds.
old,
Yeah.
and decrepit, and time for a clean out. So
It's tough. It's
tough.
You know, I love the passion. The passion, it hurts, doesn't it?
It does hurt.
And look, I know we've been lucky over the last, few decades.
18
You've
years.
won 14 of the last 18.
I
so-
grew up, like, when it was heyday and when it really mattered, you know, when we were eating jats, crackers and cheese and pickled onions at the cousin's house on every, Wednesday in June and July. They were stressful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I love that. It was better than Christmas.
Mate,
Like,
it was
you know.
good fun. Like when we lived together as well at uni, like we'd have all the boys around our house, but it was in the dark years where we'd get fucked on every year. So it wasn't. I think one of us accidentally put a chair in the roof.
We did. It was we actually won that game though that night. Jamie Soward puts Minicello over.
that's right,
Ricky
yeah.
Stewart's losing it in the box. We go up to game 3, get absolutely pumped. But
We're used to that now.
we were forcing game 3s though, and that's all that
Yeah,
matters.
exactly.
We were on the Matty Johns footy show on Sunday and they had Jamie Goddard on.
Yep.
And they basically milked it the whole way, with all the shit going on with the Johns boys, and
Yeah.
milked it the whole way leading up to the fight. And I was like, are they showing this fight or not? And then right at the end, they did it. They showed the club.
That's so good. He
It's
flogged
still
Joey.
one of the best punches
mate
ever.
Mate, you just
the
like
game.
he absolutely cracked him.
Was landed.
Yeah, it was
But
fantastic.
he talked about being the boxing channel.
Yeah, Mount Isa. He
In
grew up
Mount
fighting
Isa.
up there.
Yeah.
And that's all he did was just punch on.
And
Yeah.
Joey needed
Like a
like
proper
fucking
boxer.
12 stitches in his mouth, like,
Did he?
like
Actually?
internal
I
stitches in
didn't
his
know that.
jaw.
Wow, he didn't.
Oh,
Ridiculous.
flogged him near to
Yeah,
death.
yeah.
That was cattle dog from memory.
Was it?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
well, we
Wow.
lost that one as well.
I think,
so
I think that was what was his name? Tommy Rodonicus was like, you have to go on and fucking throw. Like
and
made
then
him.
Joey's walked in, his jaw's like broken. But so your tour starts Friday?
No, the tour doesn't start till August.
Sorry, the album's out
Album's
Friday?
out Friday.
Friday,
Yeah, 21st of July. Blood Red, the album comes out. And
Yeah.
then the tour kicks off in August, September, October, in all the spots. Yeah.
All the like national, you're going everywhere.
Yeah, down here, Sydney, Newcastle, Thurrool, down around here. And, hitting all our familiar cities. And of course, we always go back to our country towns, Rocky,
Yeah.
Cairns, Mackay, and Townsville. It's our bread and
Heck
butter
yeah.
up north. So.
How long was the whole tour taking you?
Overall,
It's
3
over
months.
3 months.
But as you'll sort of come home and you go again, you sort
Yeah.
of
We're taking the finals off, final week.
Yeah, smart.
You don't play up there during the finals.
Especially when Brisbane's looking as hot as they are.
I know.
Well, I reckon we've got Caloundra Music Festival on that day, and I'm thinking about
pulling out.
Maybe pulling out already.
So you're sick now.
Yeah, we're calling in sick.
And where can people get tickets to the shows?
Yeah, our website, busbymarou.com.
Beautiful.
So we can get the album and everything.
Perfect.
Love that.
Thanks for coming in, boys. It was great to meet you. Great to chat.
Yeah,
Good luck with it all.
Thank you.
Likewise.
We'll keep in touch. Whenever you want to come back on, always welcome.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, boys.
Awesome.
Good luck.
Could you two just not talk anymore?